Well, hello, friends. Thanks for joining us for the video. My name is Luke Lingle. I'm the executive pastor here at Central, and I'm here with.
Mary Brown. I'm the senior pastor.
And we're here. So, if you hadn't figured out yet, it's Stewardship Month. And we are finishing what has become a 4-year sermon series.
I've never done a 4-year sermon series
It
before
happens
or been part
sometimes,
of
I
one.
guess.
It's awesome.
And the theme that our stewardship committee came up with 4 years ago is rooted and connected through grace, gratitude, and growth. And the big elm trees out front were kind of the inspiration for the rooted and connected, and then obviously grace and gratitude. And now growth. What does it mean to be a church that grows and participates in the growing of the kingdom? And Mary, you're preaching on that right now.
I am. And this church is a church that grows. It's so rich to explore this month. And I feel so fortunate to get to come alongside growth that has been going on here for a long time. Some of it are seeds that y'all have planted a long time ago and are just now coming to fruition. And one of those things that's been particularly meaningful to me is to get to be a part of a church with a vision of being everyone without exception, including everyone without exception, that everyone without exception can belong. And because this is something that I'm coming into, I've known about because of our friendship, but I was not part of its formation. I know there are others who are new.
You're right. Join our community.
Yeah, and it would be helpful for them to hear kind of the story of how that came to be.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. Like a lot of churches, we were watching closely the Call General Conference in 2019. Central has been a place with a strong reconciling ministry and push for inclusion of all people across the board for years. And when General Conference happened in 2019, and we kind of thought in Methodism that the one church plan would pass, and that different churches across belief spectrum would be able to kind of live out their conviction, but that isn't what happened.
No, we were all surprised by the traditional plan passing,
which kind of doubled down on the non-inclusive language in the Book of Discipline, and also doubled down on how people were going to be persecuted because of that, or tried in our system. And so
and to be clear, this is all revolving around the issue of human sexuality.
It is
like the inclusion or exclusion of the LGBT community.
Absolutely. And particularly around marriage and ordination. So folks aren't allowed or aren't able to follow their call to the fullest of who they are and to be who they are and follow that call. It's interesting. In 2014, Mary, you may remember we had the shower of stoles here at Central in 2014 in our sanctuary, and the shower of stoles is an exhibit that travels the U.S. that has stoles, which are the things that we wear on Sunday morning.
My kids call them our scarves.
Yeah.
It's a sign of our ordination.
Yes, it's a mantle. And so the shower of stoles represents persons who were not allowed to live out their call in their denomination because of their sexuality. And so we had that here as a way to honor those folks, as a way to lament with folks that haven't been able to follow their call. And so that kind of set up who we are. We really want to make sure we're a place for all people. And so in 2019, when the traditional plan passed, we were kind of taken aback as a church. I think a lot of folks in Methodism were, and we wanted to do something to respond and make sure that our community and our context knows who we are as Central. And so Gar Ragland and Chris Bainbridge were part of our outreach committee then, and helped find the beautiful picture that someone took of the front of our church with the blue skies, and then this phrase, everyone without exception, began to emerge as what we were using. We had not solidified all this, but I had to go to Dallas the week after General Conference, and I was sitting on a plane. The UMC was a top 5 Twitter trend that week.
Wow, yeah.
And I really just kind of wanted to keep my head down and not say anything. And I put my, AirPods in, and this nice young woman, probably in her 30s, came bebopping down the aisle, was obviously very excited to get on a plane, and sat down next to me and said, "So what are you doing?" And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to like leave my headphones in. And I said, "Well, I'm going on a work trip." And she said, "So what do you do?" And I thought, "Say consultant, say consultant." And I said, "I'm a Methodist pastor." And she said, "Oh, it's been a rough week for y'all, huh?" And I've come to find out she grew up in the church, but doesn't go to church anymore. And this is a person not related to the church that looked at me and said, "Been a rough week for you all, hadn't it?"
Yeah.
And so what we did with everyone with that exception is we took out a page of the paper and we put, "Contrary to what you've seen in the Methodist Church, this is who we are." And put everyone with exception, doubled down on the social principles of the Methodist Church, which are fully inclusive. And it really is, when you talk about vision, Mary, like it really is an aspirational vision for who we are. Like it's where we want to become. It's who we are becoming. We're by no means perfect at this, and yet it is who we want to become.
Yeah, it's the now and not yet of Central. And if you worship with us on Sundays or you visit the church anytime, as you enter the sanctuary from Church Street, there's everyone without exception is displayed there. And underneath, I love the words that were chosen to give detail to that everyone. Every race, every creed, every sexuality, every gender, like it truly everyone.
Well, one of the things that we found, after General Conference, when we had our listening sessions and had that with 300 plus people across our church, is that we are diverse. We have folks that believe one thing about this thing and another thing about that thing, and it's that diversity that makes us better together. It makes us look more like the kingdom of God, and being a place for everyone, it makes us look more like the kingdom.
Yeah. And so I think it's important for folks to hear a little more about that. And I want to encourage, there may be people who are listening who weren't there along the way. We don't have time for all the detail. And so Luke is a great source of information and resource to talk more about just the history of this vision for our church. But in particular, in this month where we are moving toward Stewardship Sunday on the 29th.
9th, yep.
And we're thinking about how we're called to grow and how we're called to invest together. It makes me proud to be a part of a church where this is the vision we are investing in, financially in part, but also in our time, our energy, our resources. We want everything to be moving toward what's Christ's vision, what is God's vision of everyone.
I mean, part of our hope in this is that, our members of you all listening, feel and begin to live into, and we all live into, this be a place where we can invite anybody to participate wherever they are. And it's, yeah, like you said, it's who we're becoming. It's the now and the not yet, and the future.
Yeah. So keep journeying with us. The next 2 Sundays, we'll continue to explore ways that Christ embodied and talked about growth in the Gospel of Matthew. And just thanks to everyone, in particular to everyone who worked on this before me, for Luke and the whole team, to make this a church that's working on a really beautiful vision of the future.
See you soon. Thanks so much.